Well, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, parents, to our first ever virtual scheduling meeting. This is my 8th one. Some of our counselors have done a lot more than that, but definitely one of those things that we could have never anticipated. So we've kind of did our first round with the 6 to 7 group. We're still learning this, so just be patient with us. We're doing this as a webinar just simply because of the sheer number of people that could potentially show up. We're already at 190 right now, but we definitely want to answer any of your questions. So the counselors and myself, if you see the Q&A icon down there at the bottom, feel free to ask any questions at any time. If there are larger questions that we think that the whole group would be interested in hearing, we'll reply to those as well as discuss questions at the end. So like I said, if you have questions during the presentation, feel free to ask them. We've got people monitoring them. If there's larger questions, we'll answer them collectively at the end, and we'll also spend time at the end with any questions you have. You can just pop in the chat, the Q&A, anytime you need that in there. If there's anything specific to your individual student, feel free to reach out to one of the counselors. They're more than willing and able to help you with those things. So if you have any particular questions, just let us know. Specifically, our current 8th graders, those coming into 9th grade, we know that if this is your first student at the high school, you probably don't know what to expect or what this is going to look like. And maybe even a little bit nervous if you are going to be coming up here as a high school student. So let us help you. Let us make it as easy as possible. There's a lot of opportunities. There's a lot of things at the high school, and it can get confusing. The high school, we've got about 100 teachers with each one of them teaching 5 classes. I mean, we have hundreds and hundreds of classes running. And so we want to help you to understand what it is your student needs, what it is they want, what kind of pathways they might be looking for, and help you develop a plan for them moving forward. So please feel free to reach out or ask anything you need as we help there. I always tell people the student who's going to navigate the high school experience the easiest is my own student. And that's because I know it backwards and forwards. And it's something that we can help you guys with as well. And believe it or not, this is my daughter's 8th grade class. So she will be up here with Dad next year. I don't know if she's excited or scared about that, but she will be my first student up at the high school. So they grow up fast in there. If you don't know who I am, I'm Mr. Willard. I'm the high school principal. We've got 2-campus situation with our main campus and North Campus. Our North Campus is predominantly seniors or special programming like dual enrollment classes, Project Lead the Way, some avenues for your student to pursue some different things as they get older in there. I've got 3 assistant principals here at the high school, Ms. Silvestro, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Case, who you'll see quite often. If your son or daughter is not already a part of it, please join the Counseling Google Classroom. You can utilize that code right there. And it's full of valuable resources that we can help provide for your students. Now, that Google Classroom code is only available for students simply because of our ability to just only access HPS content or Holt Public Schools content. So, but if you want to view those things, just have your student log in and they can show you. Everything we're going to go over tonight, I'm going to send to parents either tonight or early tomorrow morning so that you have those, especially as the freshmen are kind of up early on the scheduling process, which Mrs. Reichert is going to kind of walk through with you guys for a little bit. So just to introduce some people who are here with me, Miss Reichert. You can wave to everybody. She's at the main campus. Well, last name's A through G. She also focuses on Career Center, which is predominantly for our juniors and seniors. So something that your students might want to pursue later on. She would be one of your go-to people for that. Mr. Connor is also here. Mr. Connor looks like he's in Colorado, one of our favorite places, you know, in there. But Mr. Connor helps support students with last name H through O, as well as students who are looking at our early college programs here at Holt High School. The applications for early college aren't until your student is in their sophomore year, so just keeping something on your radar. Miss Lown, last name's P through Z, and she also helps support much of the testing programs that are taking place at the high school, your PSAT, SAT, that your student will be taking for your college admissions and things like that. And then Miss Schaaf is our North Campus or senior counselor. So you can meet her tonight virtually, but you probably won't see much of her until until your student gets to be about a senior in high school. And then she's everything with the senior class and supports with all of those things, college scholarships, college admissions, FAFSA, all those things along with the college advisors to support them in there. We have a college advisor at the high school who's here to support. She's mostly over the North Campus, but she can help support in any questions you have about the college going process. Mr. Schraben is my Director of Secondary Programs. He focuses a lot on our specialty programs, our dual enrollment, early college programs, Project Lead the Way, business courses, some of those career pathways that students are interested in. And then Mrs. Wicki is our MTSS coordinator. And yeah, you can go ahead and click there for me. So just kind of some key characteristics. This is important for any grade level in school, but specifically as your students are transitioning to high school. High school is very rigorous. This is the time where we really talk about how much it really counts, starting with a cumulative GPA, starting to think about post-high school plans, whether that's careers, whether that's the military, whether that's college, trade schools. While they're young, 13, 14, 15 years old, it's still an opportunity for them to experience some of their interests in high school and to kind of start pursuing some of those things to see if they really want to make a career in there. But as you'll see from the presentation, a lot of core courses that the state of Michigan requires, they require students to pass those classes. This is at the high school where we're looking at if a student does not pass the course, they need to repeat that course all over again as far as a graduation requirement. So one of the biggest pieces of that research is showing is just attendance, whether that's virtually as we are now or when we're back face to face, that students really should try to attend class whenever they can. I mean, they really need to be there every single day. We know that there are illnesses and appointments and different things, but research is very clear that when students miss more than 10% of classes, the likelihood of passing classes or being successful really diminishes at that point. So really building those habits of being to class and attentive is really going to benefit students in there. We really do push at the high school level as they're entering that kind of young adulthood, and they're the ones that are interacting with their teachers on a daily basis, that they should be the ones that are first advocating for themselves. They should be talking to the teacher about how they can improve, about what they're missing, what they're not understanding, because ultimately the work and the effort and the learning happens through the student. And so they need to take a lot more ownership of that. They can do that through checking Power School, asking for help, creating goals for themselves and kind of making connections to what they're learning outside of the classroom. Biggest piece of that is coming with an attitude to learn and participate. We're not expecting every kid is going to want to give speeches and talk in front of class, but participation can look a lot for a lot of different students, but they're going to get so much out of learning if they're an active participant in there. You may be thinking in terms of like, well, what does the high school have to offer? And Mrs. Reichert's going to kind of walk you through those things, but we have a lot of different opportunities for AP and honors and really rigorous courses that we would really promote really any student taking. Your mind is your brain is a muscle and it needs to be utilized. It needs to be stretched. It's okay for students to think really hard and deeply about things and to really challenge themselves in these classes that they're thinking about taking in there. As I kind of already talked about, credits begin to count towards graduation. There's a total of 24 potential credits through 9th through 12th grade, and a student needs at least 22 credits to graduate from high school. Some students will be bringing up their modern language grade from the junior high school, so it gets them on a good footing, especially to get different opportunities for them to take courses. Our typical structure is around 3 credits per semester for a total of 6 credits per year. So each class they're taking each semester is a half credit that they're earning towards graduation in there. I'm going to turn it over to, am I doing this one? I forget. Kim? Yeah. See, this is when you can't
This
really
is
prepare
you.
for these things. Okay. So PSAT is your student probably didn't take it last year with the pandemic, but it's essentially the pre-SAT. So as you start thinking about a college admissions exam, the SAT is the test they're going to take their junior year that'll help dictate maybe some college scholarships or college admissions. The PSAT is a test that is the precursor to the SAT that gives the students some valuable feedback about their skills and where they're at as far as their trajectory towards their scores on the SAT. It's currently scheduled for the week of April 14th, 15th, and 16th. Right now, the state is still saying that we're going to be taking those tests. We're getting everything ready for that. But we'll wait and see. Last year it was canceled with the pandemic. So, but as of right now, that is, we're planning on that, which it also is a valuable tool for our students and for you to understand their progress so far towards their SAT. And some of the ways you can help support your students is through different resources. Khan Academy is a valuable resource for them. Building 21, Human Math, or just staying after school or coming in early with a teacher are just some different ways that they can kind of help get those things taken care of. Khan Academy has a really good resource for helping prepare for the PSAT too. You can sign up for an account and the questions are catered to the student and their ability levels to help them kind of increase their success with those things. All right.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Willard. As he mentioned, I'm Kim Reichard, and I'm one of the 4 counselors. I also coach varsity softball with Miss Lown. And I can't emphasize enough, before I get into this, how important it is for you to email your respective counselor and have that communication. It's really easy for us to respond to an email than it is maybe to return a phone call. And that's not to say that we won't return phone calls, but if we're in a meeting or other things, even at night, we can respond to those emails. So just, always feel free to contact us via email. Extracurricular activities are really important because colleges and employers, they want to see that your student is not just able to manage school, but that they can manage many things or other things. We have so much to offer at Holt High School as far as our high school sports. We've got a plethora to choose from. The one thing with high school sports is there's the MHSAA and eligibility. They do have to be passing 4 out of 6 classes. So incoming freshmen, you come in with a clean slate and all of you will be able to play. However, 6 weeks in, the athletic department will do a grade check. And if you are failing more than 2 classes, you will have to sit the bench and not participate in a game. And so because I coach a spring sport, this first semester dictates spring sports. So if one of my players didn't pass 4 out of 6 classes, they cannot come and play until like the end of May, whatever that date might be. So eligibility is important. Got to keep your grades up. If you have any desire to play at the college level, grades will continue to be something that are important. So keep all of that in mind. We also have our high school theater with our plays and musicals, but not only just performing, but also those that help out behind the scenes with our tech department. Really great programs and directors. We also have quite a few clubs to choose from. And right now, tonight, I know that our diversity club was having a forum, and our National Honor Society has done quite a bit with community service. You can't apply, however, until you are a sophomore. Our Science Olympiad has won a lot of awards for their competitions. Moral of the story, get involved. It's a great resume builder for any college or employer. So as far as the graduation requirements, this is what you're looking at for the total 4-year plan. 7 semesters of English, 7 semesters of math, 6 to 8 for science, and that will depend on the path, and I will get to that a little bit later on in the presentation. 6 semesters for social studies, 2 semesters, 1 of PE and 1 of health. Keep in mind that if you had this at the junior high, that does not count for high school credit. You will have to take a PE and a health class at the high school level. Also, you'll have to have a fine art class and an online experience, AKA a computer class, and also your modern language, 4 semesters, 2 years. I want to clarify that. With that 2 years, that has to be 2 consecutive years of the same language. It can't be French 1, German 1. It has to be Spanish 1, Spanish 2. So if you are currently in a modern language right now at the 8th grade, you know, a lot of times, I don't know where the disjoint comes, if there's people that don't sign up for level 2, make sure that you sign up for that level 2 if you're doing well in the class. And also keep in mind that grade that you're receiving in 8th grade, because it's considered a high school course, you are getting 1 full credit in that, and your grade counts on your transcript. So what you earn this year, so first semester and second semester, will be on your transcript. So keep that in mind, that you are earning high school credit. It will show as a transfer 1.0, Spanish 1, and whatever your grade was on your transcript. So you have 34 semesters total out of 48 possible, and you have to have 22 credits to graduate. If you fail any of these right here, you have to take it over, and we'll get into that a little later too. This kind of gives you the big picture of the 4-year plan. It's got your core classes here, what all freshmen will take, what all sophomores will take. Juniors, you have a choice between chemistry or physical science. And then you see that you really open up and you get to choose some electives. I can't emphasize enough to educate yourself about our programs. We have a lot of great electives where students can really explore things. You know, you're getting a chance in high school to take electives for free. Well, I mean, you're a taxpayer, but you know what I mean. You're not paying college tuition. And so if you don't like something, you can rule that out for maybe what you want to go into post high school. We have so many kids that graduate from Holt High School with college credits. And I can tell you, one of my former softball players went to Western and she had 20 college credits. So she had more than her first semester already paid for. That's $10,000 in savings. So educating yourself on the programs that we have and the courses that you can earn college credits in, it's super important to be informed. So kind of just gives you an outline. The blue down here is just an example. It's not what you have to do, but somewhere along the line, you have to get that PE, health, art, and computer class scheduled in. If you do take 4 years of band, then that PE can be waived. There is a PE waiver. Or if you play a sport, you can also have a PE waiver through the high school for a season with your coach signing off. This is just
Ms. Reichert, sorry, just to clarify, it can be any level sport. It does not have to be varsity.
correct. This is just an outline showing for science that as a 9th grader, you will be taking earth science. As a 10th grader, you can take biology or AP bio. And then in 11th grade, you're going to have a choice between a track of physical science. And if you take physical science, you're done with science, or chemistry or AP chemistry. And then you would take physics your senior year. In 9th grade, and this is really more appropriate for when we are back in person, but we try to have a lot of our classes within the same area of the building. We do have portfolio presentations in June, and those freshmen are presenting to our 12th grade teachers, which is a really neat thing. We do have students update their EDP, which they should have started at the junior high, and do a 4-year plan in Zello. And we haven't been able to get into classes to work on the EDP this year in Zello. And you can do this on your own. Actually, the icon is on our HPS K-12. The link is right there. And the username and password is just their login. And it is a wonderful resource. They do career planning. There's different lessons. You can look at all different types of universities, see what majors they have. You can compare universities. I highly recommend taking a look at that with your student when you have time. Like I said, it's a valuable resource that we offer through the school. For our scheduling process, so tonight we have our parent night, and then immediately we kind of turn around and get into the classrooms. We will be meeting via Google Meet, and we'll start with the junior high on February 3rd. And then on the 24th, the 2B sophomores will be working with the geometry classes. So all scheduling will be taking place in the math classrooms. And then there will be a time after we do our first round where adjustments are made, and then we'll have our schedules dispersed at Kickstart or whatever we deem to happen, depending on where we are with this pandemic. So for incoming ninth graders, we will be in the classrooms. The math teachers that we just met with today, and we have the code, but we also sent the link, and they'll be sending that out tomorrow as well. You will be doing online course requests. So what that means is between tonight and tomorrow, you're going to look through what electives you would like, and you would be choosing 4 electives and 2 alternates, and you would be submitting that on PowerSchool. So these courses are what's going to be mass added for all ninth graders. US history, 1900 to present. Keep in mind that there is an American Studies option, which American Studies is, I used to teach this, is an integration of social studies and English. So for example, if you were learning about the 1920s, you might read Inherit the Wind about the Scopes trial that was going on. So it's a really great class. You have it for 2 hours with the same teacher. Geometry, and there is an option to have honors for that. With this, I want to explain real quick what honors is, because it's your first crack at having an honors course. Honors is an accelerated curriculum, and they may go more in depth. It's basically our district's curriculum for having an accelerated pace, or so if you want to decide if you should take that, know that it's a year-long commitment, and that when colleges look at your transcript, and I keep saying that word, and I'm assuming you know what that is, but a transcript is your official record of all your courses, all your grades, your grade point average, and your class rank. So when a college sees honors geometry or whatever it might be, sometimes, most often, they weight those classes. And so Holt has a straight 4.0 scale. We do not weight. If you hear other schools where a student has like a 4.2 GPA, that's why, because they have a weighted scale. So know that if you decide, this is something you might want to talk to your math teacher, your current 8th grade teacher about, and your parents. Decide if that's something you might want to do. When we do the scheduling on Wednesday, there'll be an option for you to choose honors as one of the options for math. And that's going to be the system 9-12 for math. It's always going to be your choice if you want honors or not. But for English, however, they're always going to have an application or portfolio. So for English 9, you have to do an application. If you are accepted, then we will change your schedule for you. So English 9 will all be mass entered for every student, as well as Earth Science. Some people say, can you do both honors geometry and honors English? Yes, absolutely. We have plenty of students that do that. It's really you understanding your own abilities and time management. Can you do those things? And just again, know that it is a year-long commitment. For the electives, this is just a sample. This is not near, you know, the program, or excuse me, the course guide is going to be sent out, and it's very big, very overwhelming, all the different electives we have. But, you know, it would be really good to get some of those graduation requirements like health, PE, art, and computers out of the way. And it can be, if, like, for example, any of the art classes fulfill the art credit, any of the PE classes fulfill the PE. There's a ton of different PE electives between weight training, personal fitness, lifetime activities. And you might say, well, what are those? That's what you need to do between now and Wednesday, is look at the program, the course guide, and see what those are, to see if you might like those. Health is just health. There's no other option. And computers, there's other options there too. You could take computer applications, which is one of the most popular ones, as well as Photoshop, that fulfill that requirement. When you are signing up for classes, you might see that it says, you know, Spanish 1A, Spanish 1B. If there is an A, that means there's a B. So you need to know that if you're signing up for that, you're signing up for a full year of the class. And so just make sure that you're signing up for 2 sections, that it's not, you know, just the one that you're signing up for. You're signing up for Spanish 1A, Spanish 1B, and so on for German and French. We also have our band that is very successful, as well as our choir. They sometimes have auditions that you might be able to place in a higher level, and we would make those adjustments based on what the teacher provides us from their roster. But really, it's important that you know what these are. Like, for example, if your student does not like to speak in front of other people, then drama probably would not be the best option, because you are performing in front of other classes that come and watch your performance. So again, take a look at the courses online. And I am also trying to send something to the math teachers that just gives you a snapshot of the electives that are offered just to freshmen, so that that course guide isn't too overwhelming for you. All right, this is a mock freshman schedule. This is a student that does not have band or a language. And a lot of people, you know, let's say you didn't take a language at the junior high. Do you have to take it as a freshman? No. Would we recommend it? Yes, just to be able to get those 2 years in an appropriate time. So you're not having to worry about it later down the road. But this student has their 4 cores: geometry, English, US history, and science. And then they have their computer class, PE, nutrition, and ceramics and art class. So they're getting 3 of their graduation requirements done. Here's another mock schedule. And if you are in band in a language, then you're pretty much done with your schedule. You're going to sign up for both semesters here, and both Spanish 2A or Spanish 2B, and you're pretty much done. So that's your core with band and modern language. So again, the process for incoming freshmen, the honors application for English is due March 5th. Talk with your English teacher if you think that that would be something you might be interested in. It would be due on the Google Classroom, and we actually just got the honors English Google code right here. And again, this is on our, this presentation is on our counseling classroom, so you can just use this there, or like Mr. Willard said, he's going to send this out as well. And again, honors geometry is just the student and parent can discuss if it would be a good option, as well as with their current math teacher, and elect to take it in the Power School online requests. So honors geometry A and B would be an option. Again, both of these are full year commitment. Honors English, you do have summer reading. So if you come in August or September with not having that done, that's a problem. Okay, so just know that. It is a commitment for the full year, and it is more work. All right, so the actual Power School online registration system. I know this is very small and maybe you need to get your readers out. But when they go in to do their class registration, they're going to be clicking on this pencil right here to edit. And they're going to be clicking on 4 elective choices. And it even says here, if it has an A, then you have to choose the B and you have to get 4. Once that's done, you'll get a green check mark. See, right now the student doesn't have it done, so it's a red exclamation point. Then we also want them to have alternates. And I know that it's really, frustrating sometimes, but the master schedule, certain courses are only offered certain times. And so sometimes you might not be able to get what you want. So we would like to have some alternates, something that you could live with being in. Please make sure you put these on here so that we have other options to choose from. Because if you don't, then we might have to put you in that. Classes fill up, etc., etc. So once this is all done, you'll have green check marks and push submit. And then that will be your course registration. Again, as I said, there'll be another point where we will send something out to you that says that you can send us revisions, and then that's where we would make those final revisions. For incoming 10th graders, you have an opportunity to apply for Career Center. The Wilson Talent Center has amazing classes that they offer there, and courses that are in demand for jobs right now. The welding program, the students are getting jobs right out of their program. The cosmetology program, you would be saving $30,000 if you went through the Wilson Talent Center cosmetology program. Their cost is $300 for their supplies, and you're doing the same program that Douglas J, Protege, all those other schools are doing. So you do need to be on track for Career Center, because you basically are going there for 3 hours of the day, and then you're at Holt High School for 3 hours of the day, taking your core classes. And with those core classes, you've got your English, math, and science that you're taking in place of other electives. So you also have an opportunity for National Honor Society, which Ms. Schaaf is one of the co-advisors, and you'll get information in February if you have a 3.25 GPA. Keep in mind that you do have to do 20 hours of community service to be a part of that. But because it's a national organization, it is something that is looked highly upon by colleges and universities. We also have an in-house Holt Early College program that we use in coordination with LCC. Mr. Schraben is in charge of that, and students would be continuing to earn their diploma as well as earn their college credits. And 10th grade is also an opportunity to take your first advanced placement courses. So what's the difference between honors and AP? Advanced placement courses, that is a national curriculum, and they are very strict with what they have to teach and by when. And the goal is that come May, you sign up for the AP test, which is $90. And if you score high enough, you can earn college credit. And that college credit is universal to all the different universities. This has been around forever. So it is one of the easiest ways to, well, I'm not going to say it's an easy way to earn college credit because it's a hard course, but it's a universal way to earn those credits. For AP Biology, you will have to complete an application. For AP World History, you do not. So the biggest thing, again, like the honors classes, this is a year-long commitment, and I cannot stress enough how much reading is involved in these courses. So if you don't have a real passion for world history, then I wouldn't recommend this course. All applications, this is a universal date for everything, whether it's AP or honors, are due on March 5th. For 10th graders, your core classes are as follows: world history, Algebra AB, English 10, and biology. This is the first grade level where you as a student could take all honors in AP, all 4. I think that's a little much. I think that'd be a lot to handle, but you certainly have the opportunity to do that. I will tell you, if you score well enough on the AP World Test or AP Bio Test at Michigan State, you get 8 credits. So that's a great option to earn 8 credits. Again, for math, it's just going to be your conversation with your teacher and your parent if you want to take that. For English, join the Google Classroom and do the portfolio. So a mock sophomore schedule looks like as follows. The student has their core classes with their second level of a language, with computer applications and a PE. And as far as the dates for the incoming 10th graders, February 24th is what we had mentioned in the geometry classes on Google Meet. And those course requests will be entered that day virtually in math. So you have a little bit more time to really look through the course guide and get prepared for what you want your plan to be. Keep in mind that prior to the 24th, your teachers will also be kind of walking through the electives in their discipline and going over those with you as well, just trying to help advertise and get word out about their different programs. For you specifically, you're going to be looking at and paying attention to your historical grades in Power School. You can see those after today and see what classes you would still need for your graduation requirements. So that historical grades is a nice feature to make sure that you're on track. So an overview for next year, we're going to overview the classes and electives. Like I said, over the next couple days, teachers are going to maybe do a PowerPoint of their electives. We'll be in classes on the 24th. The requests are due that day. You have the application process for Honors English and your choice for algebra. And you will be choosing, just like the incoming freshmen, 4 electives and 2 alternates. Here's the biggest mistakes you can make with scheduling is not turning in, well, in this case, we're going paperless and there is no request sheet, but not doing your online requests, not turning in or signing up for the same class different times. And keep in mind that once you've taken, a class, you can't sign up for it again if you've passed it. So if you can take a different PE class, let's say you took weight training and you want to take another PE class later the next year, you can take a different one. It just can't be the same class, okay? If you fail a class, how do you make up credits? Summer school, actually, I'm in charge of that. And we send out information in May. Last year we did it virtually and it worked out okay. But you do our program, it's an Edgenuity program. It's an online program that you can take classes. You can do 2 classes and each class is $110. Or if you're on free and reduced lunch, it's $60. But you can take 2 classes, or another option is you can take a lab class, but it's still the same program with the classes that you're taking, and that would be scheduled in your schedule of 6 classes. So those are the 2 main ways to make up your credits. I know this is really small, but if you go to the Wilson Talent Center site, you can take a look at all the different programs they have with their health science programs. They've got their culinary arts is huge. They actually broaden that and have a food truck, their cosmetology program, and then they also have a 1-year manicuring program, but they also have information and technology with cybersecurity. They have law enforcement, welding, construction, just a lot of different programs. Again, as Mr. Willard pointed out, we do have some supports we are really proud of our portfolio days that when we were able to do those, and hopefully we can get back to that again when we are in person. We do have a success coordinator, and Building 21 has been a great community liaison with some tutors. And actually, Ms. Lowndes set up a peer tutoring program with PALS, which is a great opportunity too. Our kids, they've even been doing it online, and our kids have been going into breakout rooms based on disciplines, and that's been a huge support this year. So thank you, Ms. Lowndes, for that. So what do you do now? You got to do some homework. You've got to talk to your teachers, discuss what kinds of things you should take. Even the modern language teachers. I know it's only February, and what happens is, we just started second semester, and that level B, that second semester class, is really important to go into that second level of German 2, Spanish 2, and French 2. So maybe right now you're okay going into that higher level, and then if you have to make a change because you didn't pass or whatever it may be, just make sure to email your counselor. Prepare questions for our visit when we do come into the classroom. Check your historical grades, those of you that are current freshmen, to see what you still need. Eventually, there'll be a graduation planner in there that will show you what you're still missing, but right now you're doing that with a credit review that we'll send out as well, and you'll have that as a part of your presentation in class. And finally, read the course guide for descriptions of those courses that you might have an interest in. Become knowledgeable. And I think that concludes my presentation. Are there any questions that people would like to put in the chat?
Most of them have been answered. There weren't any really for the whole, unless anyone else has questions.
Okay.
And all this information that Ms. Raker just talked about actually should have just been emailed to our current ninth graders, and then I'm actually texting Mr. Mulby to see when he can send it to our current eighth graders, so that you guys have this in hand for you tonight to be able to look through this information too. Not a lot of questions when it's virtual in there, so we had more in our 10th and 11th grade session in there. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, definitely feel free to put them in there. If there's things that we did not explain or you had questions about, I know the counselors were quickly pecking with the keys, getting those questions answered for everybody. But if you have any other things that you need, just please let us know. We'd be more than happy to answer those for you guys. Yeah, so a couple of the questions I'm just kind of going through that I know that kind of been answered, but just general timeline stuff. That's all in that email that I just, like I said, sent to the current ninth graders and will be sent to the eighth graders here soon. And so kind of walk you through those. The most important piece is for our eighth grade families, as our counselors will be in their math classes on Wednesday, for you to kind of look through that information. I know Mrs. Reichert walked through a lot of the freshman classes are kind of picked for them as far as like state requirements, but there's definitely a couple electives and options that they would have to be able to choose from with some of those things. And all those electives or descriptions, information is all in the course guide, organized by department in there. Well, if you have all your questions answered, you are free to go. We definitely appreciate your time tonight. I know it was a little bit different for us, as I'm sure it was for you. We're anxiously awaiting the time where we can all be face to face. But like I said, if you've got all your questions answered, thanks for coming tonight. Hopefully at some point we can meet some of you face to face, especially if you have a new freshman student. But if you've got specific questions, like I said, the counselors will be here. They can continue to look through the Q&As and get those questions answered for you. And if you have anything in particular that you need, feel free to also email them or reach out to them. So have a great evening. And we got done a little bit early, but that's okay. And but definitely reach out if you need anything from us. Thank you, guys.